Karma, how awareness changes action. In the previous episode, we noticed something important. Patterns may exist in life, but they are not fixed or unchangeable. When awareness enters, a small space appears between the pattern and the next action. But what really happens inside that space? How does a pattern actually begin to change? At first, nothing seems very different. The same thoughts and feelings still arise. The same reactions begin to form just as they always have. So, it may feel like nothing has changed at all. But something subtle is already different now. Earlier, the reaction happened without being noticed. Now, it is being seen as it forms. And that simple seeing begins to change the nature of the moment. Because what is seen clearly and directly does not move in the same way as before. For example, a familiar irritation begins to raise within. Earlier, it would quickly turn into a reaction without pause. Now, there is a brief moment where it is noticed. The irritation is still present, but it is no longer completely in control. In that moment, something important has already shifted. The next action is not yet fully decided, and this is where change quietly begins. Not by forcing a different reaction, not by suppressing what we feel, but by simply staying present with what is happening. This presence creates a quiet inner space, and within that space, the pattern loses its automatic flow. It may still try to repeat itself, but it is no longer unquestioned. And when something is no longer automatic, a new possibility begins to appear. A calmer response, a pause instead of reaction, a slightly different way of acting. At first, these changes may feel very small. Sometimes the whole pattern may still take over, and that is completely natural. Nothing needs to be forced because patterns have been built over time through repetition. But each moment of awareness begins shifting the direction slowly, and over time, these small shifts start appearing more often. New actions begin to repeat in subtle ways, and these actions leave new subtle traces. Up to this point, we have been observing how actions begin to shift, but there is something even more subtle to notice here. When awareness is present, the action does not arise from the same place as before. Earlier, the response came from habit and repetition. Now, there is a moment where that habit is seen clearly, and When it is seen, the next action is no longer blindly driven. It may still follow the old way or it may shift slightly, but something has changed. There is now a sense of participation in action, not control, but a quiet presence within action. And from this presence, actions begin to feel more clear and less reactive. This is how understanding karma becomes alive, not as an idea, but as something we begin to notice in real moments. So, change is not something we force into life. It begins when we start seeing clearly what is already happening in your daily life. Can you notice when an action is about to begin? In the next episode, if actions can change, what truly shapes the direction of our choices?